Hello, hi there, how are you doing? And welcome, hold on one second. Welcome to an episode of, whoa, this is what it sounds like. Getting into my house. Here's another lock. So I've got a top, a bottom, and a middle lock. Jeez, okay. And then jeez. How many more keys? Oh. Okay. Now I can lock the top one and the bottom one. I personally don't, if it's there, why not? Why spare the expense? There you go. You can lock that lock. And so there's already 3 locks that's locked. And now I locked my door. Now I'm inside of my house. Hi there, welcome to another episode here of the Kyle High Club. And no, this is actually not a drill. This is something that I've been thinking about for quite some time now. And I don't know why I took my distance from podcasting all this time right now, because, I left it at a point where I thought, like, this is where it needs to be. This is where my podcast needs to stay. And that's where I can leave it. And then, a couple of days ago, I hate calling it a midlife crisis, because I don't think it's a crisis like, whoa, smite me, oh mighty smiter, with some realization that I am a human being, a product of millions of years of evolution. Yeah. Crazy. Boom. Everything that you are exposed to and exposing yourself to makes you adapt to become a version of something that has never existed, because you are the only person who has lived your specific life. So there are no 2 souls on this whole entire planet that can physically say they have had the same lives, because they haven't. Never has there been a you on that year of the existence of the planet. You are the only you that's currently alive right now, doing the things that you, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. I told myself I should stop saying, I don't know where I picked it up. It is just so strange when you find something about the way I project myself into the world that I don't like. Not because I don't like, eventually, yeah, lol. I'm just trying to avoid projecting myself in a manner which I feel uncomfortable with. I've noticed I've picked something up. I don't know where, but it can't stay, because it's shedding a light on something that I'm not. What am I? Great question, everyone. That's 5 points to that guy over there who said that. Like, cool, awesome, lol, awesome, lol. Just a bunch of generic answers for questions. People don't even bother thinking about how they are perceived from a third person point of view due to only being trapped in their own physical little bubbles. And what are those bubbles? Those bubbles are thoughts that we are currently having right now. And whether these thoughts are good or bad, that's for you to decide. What are you thinking about? How do you react to the same things that other people also react to, but that impacts you in a whole entire different manner? And that brings me back to no person on this whole entire planet has been exposed to the things that you have been exposed to and have lived your specific life with external factors that has happened to you. And now, the both of us can be exposed to the same thing. We can watch a movie and your brain can think about it in a whole entire different manner than my brain. Or, wow, I also had that thought. That is amazing. I like speaking to other souls on this planet who has had similar realizations that I can be open and honest with. Because if there are combined souls who have also felt the same, been exposed to something, or just currently trying to process what you are thinking about right now and why. Because how I perceive the world is how I react towards the world. The world is not happening to me. I am happening inside of another realm. I am a 3-dimensional being able to maneuver wherever I want to. Crazy is that? I'm not a single-celled organism right now on this realm. I have got thoughts. I have feelings. I have memories. I react towards something because of a memory that I have had, or something that I have been taught by someone. So someone else's perspective on the world is information that you have in order to live your life. And that can have an impact on how you see your whole entire lifeline completely. From a child. And people live in small towns because that's all we know. It's all we're taught. You don't know more than this. This is what we have. That's it. Or I am gonna try and go out and see different things, experience different lives. And I'm talking about plant life, marine life, all kinds of life in different places, being exposed to different elements like weather. People live differently if the weather is different. I would never forget the first time I ever witnessed snow. I was on the California Zephyr Amtrak train from Chicago. And from Chicago, we went all the way to Colorado via train. I remember sitting in that train excited listening to music, seeing different cities at every single stop. We're on a train, every single stop is a whole entire city that you haven't ever seen in your life. The way people talk, the things that they do, the things that they eat, the types of ethnicities that you've never met in person before, from all over. And the train went into a tunnel. Before going into the tunnel, I will remember looking outside, and it looked like a normal bright summer's day out on a farm. And then boom, tunnel. I don't know how long this tunnel is, and I don't know if this is still the Moffat tunnel, or no, I think the original Moffat tunnel is no longer working. I don't know. I just know that Colorado's got mountains and a shit ton of tunnels. But I remember coming out of that tunnel and witnessing snow everywhere. Suddenly, the hoodie that I had my whole entire life here in South Africa, which I thought my perspective was a thick hoodie and I will be fine. Never in my life have I instantly experienced what cold really is. But the first thing I did when I got off of this train, I pissed my name in snow. I had to. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know if it's something that I saw as a child and I thought to myself, you know what? That seems awesome. But the case may be, needless to say, I may or may have not been publicly indecent in this situation. Here I was, just a child, 18 years old, jump out of this train, piss my name in the snow, and then people walk beside you and just look at you like, did this guy just pissed where everybody is supposed to walk out now? Why didn't he use the toilet on the train? These African kids can't take them anywhere. You live, you learn. I feel the need to constantly create, because creativity is the only thing that you have to take those ideas that you have inside of your head and be able to share it with another living entity and say, this is visually, verbally, sensory how I perceive this thought. That's amazing, right? And I get caught up with let's call them distractions from me trying to experience what being alive is. There are distractions everywhere, constantly, 24/7. There is a distraction. And that distraction is something as simple as family members or a job. Now, in order for me to continue being alive, I am alive. I'm breathing. I'm a living entity. Yes, thank you so much. And a lot of movies lately depict apocalyptic scenes. What would you do? There's an apocalypse right now. Technically, hear me out. Technically, if you think about it, just think about it, you are living in an apocalypse. Whoa, what? Because since birth, since you are alive, you have a guarantee that you will soon, in some amount of years, you're not even sure. You don't know. No one knows. You have no idea. Like, if you told me all human beings have 100 years, yay, 100 years. We can live for 100 years, everyone. That blank slate, that would already make you feel, whew, 100 years, all of us. That's not even the case. We don't have a standardized situation over here. No, siree. Since you were born, you are welcomed with your impending doom. Yes, you are welcomed with, you have a birthday. And you are the only entity that you are going to have until you die. And get this, here's the buy one, get one free situation. You don't know when that's going to be. You have no idea. It can literally be tomorrow, the next day. It can be 100 years. It can be 60. It can be 35. It can be literally any age. And we judge age by the amount of time that has passed during the time that you are alive. So that's age. So your little spark, your shooting star in the universe, your insignificant speck of time that you have during this universe. Think about the amazing stories trees could tell. They have been alive. They've lived. They've been part of this planet for hundreds of years, those living entities. And then you, mankind, as a whole, decides, you know what, we don't have a lot of time on this planet, so we might as well just fuck it up. Instead of, we're merely visitors here on this planet, technically, with all of the life that has been around here for decades. And, hey, humans have been around since the beginning of time. I know what you mean. That is also a good question, lady there in the corner. If you take the amount of life we have in perspective of, let's say, a tree, right? So this tree has been on this planet for hundreds of years. So he pulls rank with being an earthling for the longest. And me, who I don't know how long it's definitely not going to be 100 years, but less than 100 years. I'm probably going to be around about 60, 70 if I'm lucky, if I'm not struck by lightning sometime. So technically I'm a speck in comparison with the amount of life that he's lived. And we look at that tree and say to ourselves, this will make a great This will make a great Justin Bieber notebook. That's a old joke. And then we're even more arrogant. We've got more, and I'm telling you, way more than any other human being has had in prior lives to us. You can look at your parents. What you have at your age, amount of time that you've been alive, you have way more capabilities than your parents have ever had at your age. Think about that. A king from the Middle Ages, I'm talking about a king, a guy who's got all of the gold he needs, all of the pool armies. I've got something that guy never had. A vehicle that can traverse wherever I wanted to go instantly. And get this, I get to burn prehistoric lives, fossil fuels into this thing as I pollute the sky. But I get to travel at close to, if I'm being fair, 120 to 135. I sometimes go to 40 if I'm just cruising on the highway. But I never go higher than 140 if I'm spelunking on the road, the gravel, the tar that we put all over this, the grass plains of this planet. Yeah, take that, king. I get to travel. I even get to fly. You never even got to be able to lift your hand off of your throne. So, joke's on you. I've got that. And all of the combined knowledge of human beings who also think things, who record things, who archive things so that future generations of human beings can actually look at this footage and move forward. Those people who record all of these thoughts, I have got all of that information live, instantly, at my fingertips. That I have right now. So, in perspective to all of the prior lives, you have had way more than they have had. Now we know, okay, I have all of these capabilities. I've got all of these possibilities. And I can basically do whatever I want to do right now. Whatever. I can do anything. I live in an era where you can do nothing and sit on your ass and play video games. You remember when your mom told you when you were a kid, video games will never get you anywhere. We now live in a world where people become famous for sitting on their asses playing video games. Now, these people's names are apparently way more prolific than anyone creating the things they use today, like, electricity. Inventors, people trying to create by, modernizing everyday simple tasks, because since the beginning of time, since the invention of the wheel, mankind decided we are getting lazy. No longer do I want to just have these square rocks. I want to be able to move more. I already have enough. I live in paradise. But I need more for myself. So now that laziness comes with greed. So I want more out of this life now. But I'm not willing to to give more. You know? Lol. Cool. Is everybody still with me? The thing is, here's the clincher of this whole entire situation. We've become lazier to a point where you can sit at home and just order people to risk their lives on motorcycles to deliver you food in the cold, and then you just don't tip them anything. While you just sit there, you already have a car, you have all the modes of transportation that you have possibly, and now someone is in the rain outside there, busting their life on a motorcycle, trying to get your order to your house under a half an hour or it's free type shit. Poor guy. And then you still send that poor human being who spent minutes of his life, maybe hours of his life, that he will never get back in order to make your life more convenient. That's right. You remember, you're not the only living entity who has a lifeline that can end at any time, that you can spend at any time, any way possible that you can with all of your things. But now, in order to stay alive, we need to be able to monetize that, right? So all of these lazy, greedy people who started with inventing the wheel to the motor cars to start selling pieces of land. That's something we all had in the beginning. So we're all born on this planet. So we're part of this planet. Why do only certain people get to live on this planet? We're all earthlings, right? Do you see other animals try to monetize that situation when there's a boom gate at the river and only certain beavers may pass? See what I did there? Now, I need to find another place that can give me money in order for me to be able to live. Wow. This thing that was given to me at birth, which I thought, hey, it's cool. I'm going to try and live my life and become 100 years old. And now, at a young, ripe age, after being exposed to family members who has had jobs and lives already, and they have been alive for 50 odd years or 80 odd years and 20 odd years, and all of these human beings since you were a child have got some sort of way to mold and mash your brain to witness the world at a certain way. Now, drum roll everyone. You have gone through primary school where you meet other kids. Whoa! Hey, dude, let's life together. Let's just hang. And I also play with those things that I have been exposed to on television that I, for some weird reason, have to have now. I also enjoy those things. Do you also want to go enjoy this at my place where I live, which is different to the place that you're used to as a child? Fuck yeah. Let's go do that. And have sleepovers and birthday parties and all kinds of things until high school. You try to figure out what you are like as a individual. Yeah, I think you go in there bushy-eyed and bright-tailed. And soon you realize there's people who's been in that school for way longer, and they're impending becoming young adults. And all of those people are mashed from primary school to going out into the world. Let's put all of those people together in one place and teach them things about society, and our syllabus will kind of expose your child to what society is out there. Where you can just we've got 7 subjects. And these 7 subjects each have their own syllabus. And this is what we choose, that your children should know what is happening in the world out there. That's all they need. That's all that life, your child's perspective of life, how they see it in the adult world. We'll narrow that down to 7 subjects. I hope he's cool with that. Yeah, dude, that's cool. Until you realize that after school, everything is a joke, or, I don't know, you love school and you go have more of that because you want to learn. You want to learn. The more I know, the more I can do. The more I know, the more I can do. The more I know, the more I can do. Yeah, that's how it is, apparently. But what do you know? What do you choose to know? Because everything I do, I know. And only when doing certain things, I can learn from that. And that's also a way of figuring out. So the more I find out from other people's experiences and experience my own experiences, I will be able to gather this information that I can pile up inside of this arrogant and obnoxious and crazy and weird organ inside of my cranium called the brain. Yes, that guy. Oh man, he's got all of the serotonin and he's got all the good stuff that you need to live, I don't know, see your life in certain aspects. He can put little filters over your eyes at any time. But it's never when you want it. Hey man, I can really use some help right now. No. We're still riding out the depression filter for a while. And see how that goes. And then I need to try and bargain with my brain and ask him, dude, you know we can't afford the depression glasses, right? We can't afford those. Those are Ray-Bans. And I still wear whatever other people leave inside of my car. That's the glasses that I've been wearing this whole time. And, oh man. So, yeah. When the depression glasses wears off, you get little moments of happy glasses. Yeah, but the brain is in charge of that. I'm merely the vessel that, the robot, when all of the Power Rangers creates the Megazord. I'm all the Power Rangers, and for some weird reason, my brain is all of the Power Rangers. My brain is the Power Rangers, and the body, is the Megazord of my existence. And depending on how enthusiastically I give some of my life, my experiences, and willingness to learn, I give them that time. I could have been a live human being right now, but now I need to make money and be alive because I can't be alive if I don't have money. And now I need to go to an employer where this guy or girl or person or corporation, whatever, or this entity, this legal entity, if you want to get legal. So this legal entity can come judge you by the way you look and your past experiences And now I need to sit in front of this employer, this legal entity, and I need to kind of wear clothes to let them know that I am a person who have had experiences. I have lived, I have done things, if you have to ask. And now I have to look clean and change my appearance somehow. And then when they agree upon that, I get to give them time from my life of being alive in order to accomplish their goals, and according to my enthusiasm and performance of me devoting valuable time to you and helping you accomplish your goals, then a lot of people's perspectives upon life, having certain parents and schools and everything like that, would think, yeah, that's life. Ooh, that's life. You need to just bite that bullet and do that job. Unfortunately, for me, I just always, for some weird, stupid reason, wanted more out of life. And it's not a success type thing. It's not a goal type thing. I just wanted more out of life. Since my birth, I have been deprived of being able to live according to how I want to live. I cannot go out and do and frolic. I cannot do that. Nope. That's something you can't do right now. There's rules, there's regulations, there's borders, there's different countries. There's everything out there. So, no, you can't do that. So what I mean is what I wanted. I just wanted to be able to live, experience according to my terms, and live in a realm without money or any social pretenses. Because everybody is adapting to what they've been exposed to. We're all trying to be successful in our careers and have bigger cars than that guy. And, if I save up all of this, I get to pay back the time, aka debt, to these people that willingly helped me by giving me money because, oh no, here we start again. I needed money in order to live. I mean, imagine a world where everybody's got food. We all are like animals, where we just live from the planet and just be content. That's why I say it all started with the wheel. See where I'm getting at with this? But hey, we're evolving and yeah, we're curing the diseases that we created via pollution and all of these things that we pump into food and drinks. Who knows? Those people who ate raw plants that hasn't been altered in absolutely any way, they would probably have never been sick or experienced what sick is. Maybe from colds, I don't know. We live, we learn, we adapt. And that's what we've done for millions of years. Millions of years. I don't know how old the Homo sapien species is, I don't know, I just didn't really focus in school. I knew I had to do, I knew enough for me to know that if I do this amount, I can keep everybody happy. My parents, the teacher, everybody smiling. If I do this amount, I can just go on with my daydreaming and figure out where I want to go, what I want to do. And that's kind of how I have been living my life. And I don't know if it's great or bad. I don't know. I am just a middle-aged emo kid, nonconforming as can be. You can be nonconforming too, and you'll be just like me. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Because the way I walk, what I wear, and just who I am. No matter not even being able to say anything. We live in a society also where, that's a white guy, probably does this when he wears this. Can we not see human beings for other human beings because we've been adapting into society and we've been distracting. This is the distractions. Remember when I talked about distractions, guys? This is the point that I wanted to make. This whole entire time. Unfortunately, but fortunately for us, there is a way out. There is a way out. Believe me, there is. We can use all of these tools that we have, the technology that our forefathers never experienced. By God, there are there are babies out there with iPads. Can you imagine if I have to go back in time and I have to tell let's say my teenage self, and I would explain to him what an iPad is and what an iPad does and the capabilities of this device. And if I inform this 18-year-old version of myself that in the future, there will be babies that have that, my mind would physically explode or melt into a pulp. It's ridiculous. So, if you take all of these capabilities that you have and you think about, hey, I have X amount of time left on this planet. And this is how I want to live it. What am I going to sacrifice in order to achieve that? Do I know that is something that I want to achieve? And that's according to you, what you want to do. But my personal piece of advice, it's not about that big win at the end. It's not the big win at the end. No, sirree, that's not what life is all about. According to me, everybody's different. I know that. That's no judgment there. No one. This is a judgment-free zone, everybody. This is a zone where nobody judges anyone. What was the point that I was going to make? Being able to experience life as much as you can, organically. I know that word is open for a lot of interpretation. I know that. But be able to go where you want to be able to go. And also be open-minded enough to know that there are going to be things that's going to sidetrack you along the way. And you need to be aware enough to know Is this sidetracking me from my perspective of what I thought my life is supposed to be? Or am I on one continuous path and I should follow the path? Not fight back for what I perceived my life would be. You can have that big goal at the end, to have that northern star to move towards. Having your own place where you can call home. Or find contentment, warmth and comfort in your heart. And comfort, to me, is one of the most sincere things you can give anyone. Comfort to me is how I feel when I'm around people who I love. And people who I love are friends, family, and profound strangers who have left a remarkable impact on my life. I want to just be able to know where comfort is. That's me, actually. That's my goal. I want to be comfortable. My comfort is a peace in knowing what are the things that I enjoy out of life. What are the things I don't enjoy out of my life? I'm going to simplify society and all of those realms to my simple being alive philosophy. Although I always have had a perspective of what I am capable of, knowing that I'm growing, and realizing with age, remember that tiny little speck that we are alive, comes wisdom. I wish my comfort is the mindfulness in being able to experience things that you want for yourself and be able to act on it and not be afraid of acting on it. Because when you realize that you don't know when your last day on this planet is, that fear needs to shrink. Of course, I'm going to do this thing right now because I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that again. I'm thankful for what I have currently right now. I am extremely thankful for the people in my life helping me. I value the effort, the people who is in my life, the human beings who also have dreams, aspirations, and things to do with their lives when they want to do it. Whether they be work colleagues or close friends. I'm thankful that I'm currently where I am in my life right now with what I firmly believe I need. For this season of my life, I am surrounded by the perfect human beings. I know that. I am thankful that I have been brought opportunities to my life to be able to explore and be able to give a part of myself to a working employer, which allows me to be able to go out and explore. In exchange, they can help me make my life a little bit more comfortable. You see, perspective is such a careful yet breakable thing. As soon as you change your perspective of how you are traversing in the three-dimensional realm on this tiny little rock, shooting into nothingness, into space. Wow, suddenly the world got a lot smaller. I'm just a human being trying to figure out how am I going to continuously stay alive, and am I going to take care of myself and get rid of the things that I don't want to do. And just keep doing. So I am acting on how the opportunities are brought towards me. For I don't know when I'm going to have this opportunity again, so I'm going to take it. But also wise enough with age to know, don't give up anything of yourself ever again when making giant leaps. Because when you are risking your valuable time on this planet for someone else, it must always be mutually beneficial. And also, if there are certain situations where anything is tried out for the first time, I just want to be as respectable, open, and honest as I can at all times, so that the person or entity or situation that I am understand, this is how I genuinely feel. And I am sorry, I didn't know that this was going to happen. We tried. It didn't work. Let's move on with our lives. Instead of lingering in the past. It is difficult when there is constant reminders of the past that you're clinging on to because it gave you a warm, fuzzy feeling and you had comfort in that situation. I get it. That's why you keep it with you the whole time, because when my brain, that rascal, puts on my depression lenses, I'm able to look at these things from the past, these relics, these items, memories, photos and videos. That also steals your time. Because how you react with that will force you to do other things that you didn't feel like doing. Like, I don't know, go out partying or go self-loathe somewhere doing some sort of activity. I know I have been living my life in a way where there are always an opportunity and I act on it. And boy, have I acted on things where I thought it might better my life. Yay. Trust me, there are constant reminders of those things etched into my skin. But the plus side, I think the plus side to this whole entire situation is have that big goal. Take care of yourself enough from your own personal capabilities in order to keep yourself alive long enough to achieve that goal. Gather for the winter in order for you to have a wonderful summer. That's how I think you should live your life. Know your path and either stick with it or be mindful enough for you to know that this is not for you and respectfully decline because your time is important to you and not felt forced to accommodate someone else. You are the most important human being that you have in your existence. A tiny little window that you have into this world. You are the only human being that has ever been on this planet who has lived your specific life. Thank you for listening. I really hope that everyone took something from this. And here at the Carlisle Club, I've realized that I needed to bring my podcast back. It helped me to bring perspective and share things with other human beings. And I realized that I need to keep creating and share other people's perspectives. Because if we, as a community, can take from other people's perspectives and learn from it and listen to it. That's why I don't want to make videos for my podcasts. Damn it, because you need to listen to it. Because if you listen to it, you can go wash things, your hair, and go to the bank and drive on a road somewhere and take in this information without having to focus all of your attention onto one screen so you have to see my face. That's the opposite of what you need. You need to be able to be on your guide, your lifeline, and be able to digest all of this content. And I don't want to force you to subscribe to your attention. No. You just need to listen. That's all I want. And you can do your things. Just do your thing. Doesn't cost anything to listen. Points I wanted to make is the Carlisle Club will be rehashed. And I'm trying to line up some guests. All walks of life. No one is excluded from this guest list. I'm literally interviewing everybody because I can. I have a podcast, and whoever says yes is a guest, and that happens. And then we've got an hour recorded for your ears to enjoy. So thank you very much for listening. I'm looking forward to creating a couple of episodes. I'm not going to promise. I am not going to promise when they will come out, but they will come out when they need to come out. Yeah, so that was it. Goodbye. You can actually stop listening right now. At this point, just stop the recording and go listen to the next episode. Okay, cool. Cheers. Bye.